Let me ask you this question. What state has the most black folks in it, population-wise? Does anyone know?
No.
Texas! Many students involved in student council at high schools and middle schools are the students that really have an interest in many instances and get involved. And the first time I voted was with my mom, okay? I didn't, she's, yeah, let's go vote. All right, that's fine. I didn't know what I was doing. I frankly didn't know. I can't even recall who was on the ballot. I just voted like my mother voted, okay? And I have not missed an election since the first time. Yes, I am a state senator, but I've been Royce all my life. I paperboard from the projects of East Dallas, and I continue to be that same person, just a little older, and maybe I have gained a few more pounds in terms of my weight. What state has the most black folks in it, population-wise? Does anyone know?
No.
Texas!
Oh, really?
There are more black people in the state of Texas than any other state in this country.
Now, that's a fun fact we didn't know.
Okay? And so I would say to young people that are about trying to find their voice, to be involved as much as possible. If you don't know how to get involved, contact me. That's one of the reasons I'm here today. You know, I try to find every venue possible to make sure we get the word out. If you want to get involved in civic pursuits, be it at the local, state, or federal level, contact me. It's important that you learn, number one, how to vote, get educated on what the facts are, and go out and vote. You may say, well, I don't know all these people. Well, you won't know all of them because there'll be 3 or 4 pages in some elections that is no way in the world you're going to know of. But you can know what they stand for by going to different types of political functions, be they Democrat or Republican. I'm a Democrat, so come to my Democratic functions and getting information that way. I have internships in my law office where we have young people who are interested in becoming lawyers or being involved in politics that we have 2 or 3 every semester. And so there are those opportunities not only in my office, but in other offices also. So you do those things. You know, what I found is this. Many students involved in student council at high schools and middle schools are the students that really have an interest in many instances and get involved in government. Fact is, government. Fact is, at Pearl C. Anderson Junior High School, when I was in the 7th grade, was the first time I ever ran for a quote-unquote political office. I lost, but the fact is I learned a lot from that experience. And as a result of that, I was able to go on and become president of the student body at the University of Texas at Arlington. And then I ran for district attorney. And now I'm a state senator, and I've been a state senator for the past 30 years. So there are avenues of involvement. You've just got to make sure that you find it. And don't stop just because you may get disappointed at one juncture because somebody said, no, I can't provide you this opportunity. You've got to keep on pursuing those opportunities, and ultimately you'll be successful.
Right. How do you balance that, the law office and your senatorial responsibilities?
Well, a good question, and I've been fortunate for these many years to be able to do that. I've got good partners, and we have offices in Dallas, Houston, and Fort Worth. Now, I've got a problem right now, and the problem is that some of my law partners are becoming judges. Okay, which is it's flattering, but again, you've got to find persons to replace them, and so we're in the process of doing that. The good thing is I've had partners these many years that are responsible, competent in terms of what they do, and frankly, they know when they need to call me and make certain I have input into their decision-making process. So it balances out that way.
Okay. How long will you continue to serve? What's next?
Well, I mean, right now I feel pretty good, okay? And so I didn't have anyone to run against me last time. Hopefully, next time they won't run either. That's right. I plan on running again, okay? At least one more time.
You heard that here first on Big Texas Bossing. That is awesome. What do you say to the aspiring politician?
Well, first of all, you don't need to be a politician. You need to be a public servant. Politicians get in trouble because, it's the reality is it's hard for them to take a stance because in many instances they're trying to figure out which way the wind is blowing. Be a public servant. If you're a public servant and you're down to earth, then you'll be successful. You'll be able to keep your finger on the pulse in the community. And that's what, sometimes I feel as though I don't have my finger on the pulse in the community. That's why I need to make certain I know some influencers, okay, to make certain that I'm able to keep my pulse on what's happening in the community. If you're doing that and you're a regular person, and if, I like to play dominoes. And so I say to all of you out there to think you are domino players, to make certain you contact me and I'll see whether or not I can teach you some lessons in terms of playing dominoes. I mean, the fact is, the point of making is, I try to be down to earth. Yes, I am a state senator, but I've been Royce all my life, a paperboy from the projects of East Dallas, and I continue to be that same person, just a little older, and maybe I have gained a few more pounds in terms of my weight. The first time I voted was with my mom, okay? I didn't, she's, let's go vote. All right, that's fine. I didn't know what I was doing. I frankly didn't know. I can't even recall who was on the ballot. I just voted like my mother voted, okay? And I have not missed an election since the first time I voted. Even if I was out of the city at school, at the University of Houston or Arlington is easy because it's right down the street, I've always voted. And so I encourage you to do the same thing. And it's just like anything else, repetition, until you get to a point where you finally understand the significance of the actions that you're taking as it relates to its impact on persons that represent you. And you want to make sure you have input into the decision-making process. You can't have input into the decision-making process if you don't participate, okay? And so that's why it's important, young people who are looking at this podcast, listening to this podcast, that you understand the significance of the act that you participate in when you're voting.
Are you going to help get some money for the Juneteenth Museum?
And for what, you mean?
Yes. Are you going to help her? She needs $85 million.
Am I going to help?
50.
As much as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, hopefully, openly, who I've known for a long time,